Today I'm going to be doing a front end brake job on this 2005 Trailblazer. First part of it is to get the pads and the rotor off. First thing you need to do is remove the caliper. Use just a 13mm wrench or socket. Lift off the caliper. Remove this little clip. Now use something to hold it up and keep strain off the brake line. I'm just using a bungee cord. Okay, now slide the pads off. Remove the slider clips. Now you're probably going to need either a breaker bar or an impact wrench for this. You need to remove these two 18mm bolts on the back that hold the caliper bracket on. They can be pretty tight. It's best not to get underneath the vehicle if you're using a breaker bar. Okay, got those loose now. Now when you remove these, what I like to do is I like to put the bolts back into the caliper bracket like this. And that way I don't lose them, don't forget where they go. Alright, now if the vehicle's never been serviced before, it's going to have these little clip thingies on them. They're called Tinnerman nuts. Those are used to hold the rotors on during assembly at the factory. For service, you just remove these. So to remove these, I'm going to take a screwdriver and a hammer. I'm just going to try to deform it a little bit. It's best if you can get behind them and pull them off, but it doesn't really matter either way. And you take a pair of pliers and just pull it off. And do the other one. And try not to damage the threads when you do this. Pull that one off. Now just slide the rotor off. Now when you go to set the rotor down, it's best if you set it down with this side face down on top of a rag or a piece of cardboard or something. That'll keep the faces from getting damaged. Alright, now I've gotten the rotor resurfaced here, so it's all nice and smooth now. You can see I also used some sandpaper to remove the rust buildup on the mating surfaces as well as on the mating surfaces of the hub, and this will prevent it from being uneven when I put it back on. So now I'm going to just slide it on. And use two of the lug nuts to hold the rotor on while I put the rest of the brackets on. Before you begin, you want to take the caliper bracket and make sure that these two sliding pins are nice and smooth, not seized up. Now install the caliper bracket, being careful not to damage the rotor. Now torque them down. Lightly lubricate and install the slider clips. Be sure to clean any grease off the brake rotor with brake cleaner. Now place the new brake pads on. Before reinstalling the caliper, use one of the old brake pads and a screw style clamp to compress the pistons back into their bore. Make sure before you do this that you remove the brake fluid reservoir cap. Now that the pistons have been compressed, reinstall the anti-rattle clip and place the caliper back onto the brake pads. Push the slider pins in so that it slides down onto them. Reinstall the bolts. Install the top bolt first. Now the anti-rattle clip is going to push against the brake pad, so you have to push it down a little bit to get the other one to line up. Now torque these down. And that's how you do a front end brake job. Just remember to remove these lug nuts before you put the tire back on.